Digital equity awards made in Idaho and Pennsylvania. U.S. Cellular makes spectrum deals with T-Mobile and Verizon. AT&T ratifies agreements with the Communication Workers of America. Starlink looks for a green light from the FCC to provide gigabit speed service. And streaming services are making deals with grocery stores. Those stories and more on This Week in the Broadband Universe. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Craig Corbett. NTIA awarded $6.3 million to the state of Idaho for digital equity plan implementation. Funding is from the first round of the Digital Equity Capacity Grant Program, which will distribute better than $800 million nationwide for digital equity plans. More than 700 applications have been submitted to NTIA in the first round of the Digital Equity Act's competitive grant program. Those applications collectively requesting more than $6.5 billion in funding. PBDA, the Pennsylvania Broadband Development Authority, this week approving $45 million for multi-purpose community facility grants. The funding will be used for 49 projects in 26 counties across the Commonwealth. The awards were made to a wide range of entities with public-facing facilities, including a public library in Northumberland County and a primary care health center in Allegheny County. A substantial portion of U.S. Cellular's remaining spectrum assets will be sold to other major providers. Verizon will buy 663 million megahertz pops of U.S. Cellular's 850 megahertz spectrum licenses. A megahertz pop is the number of megahertz of wireless spectrum covered by any FCC license multiplied by the population in the geographic area covered by the FCC license. Verizon will also acquire 19 million megahertz pops of PCS licenses and 11 million megahertz pops of AWS airwaves. Total price, $1 billion. In addition, T-Mobile US will acquire the majority of US Cellular's 700 megahertz A block, along with 600 megahertz, 2.5 gigahertz, and 24 gigahertz spectrum. AT&T has ratified a pair of agreements with the Communication Workers of America in Southeast and West unions 2 months after being accused of unfair labor practices. The new contracts cover 9 states and 23,000 employees. The agreements include market-based wage increases that exceed projected inflation, comprehensive retirement benefits, along with increased company contributions to employee health care and wellness. AT&T has now reached 18 agreements with its unionized workers since the beginning of 2022. Starlink is seeking FCC approval on filings that would enable its Gen 2 non-geostationary satellites to provide gigabit speed services. The first filing would allow updates to orbital configuration and operational parameters, resulting in improved response to demand and spectrum sharing capabilities. The second filing amends a pending Gen 2 application involving SpaceX's orbital shells below 400 kilometers and additional frequencies. The requests from Starlink come just less than a month following the FCC's action, opening 1,300 megahertz of contiguous spectrum for non-geostationary orbit fixed satellite services. AST Space Mobile, a Texas-based satellite designer and manufacturer, can now compete directly as a prime contractor for Department of Defense prototype projects under the Space Development Agency's Low Earth Orbit HALO program. A new contract with the U.S. government is designed to foster competition, drive innovation, and rapidly deliver cutting-edge capabilities to the Department of Defense. AST Space Mobile claims that its 5 Bluebird satellites are, quote, the largest ever communications arrays to be deployed commercially in low Earth orbit. In other news, the Federal Communications Commission has granted the First Responders Network Authority, FirstNet, and its network partner AT&T use of 4.9 gigahertz spectrum. The FCC order will allow FirstNet users access to use unassigned or white space spectrum as long as incumbent 4.9 gigahertz public safety users are protected. The FCC decision was bipartisan, with support from all commissioners except Commissioner Ana Gomez, who did not participate in the vote. In other FCC news, a notice of inquiry has been adopted for the purpose of improving communications industry customer service. The notice in part included mention of, quote, customers experiencing delays after navigating a complex maze of chatbots and other automated tools, leaving them exhausted and no closer to resolving their problem. Amen to that. Roku is still the number one connected TV streaming device in North America, with a 37% share of open programmatic ads during Q3 of 2024. That, according to the latest Pixelate reports. Roku also holds the top market share in Latin America at 50%. And finally, streaming services will leave no stone unturned in order to keep subscribers happy and engaged. The latest deals with grocery companies. Earlier this month, Disney and Kroger announcing a deal giving Boost with Kroger Plus members a subscription of their choice to ad-supported Disney Plus, Hulu, or ESPN Plus at no extra charge. Of course, it all started with Amazon Prime memberships providing discounts at Whole Foods, then Warner Brothers Discovery doing a deal with DoorDash. Netflix, however, says no deal to the idea of bundling with a grocer or food provider. And when you're number one, you don't have to do that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on This Week in the Broadband Universe.